Here's the dummy. And he said, who the fuck's the... You Carol's mum. We was all up there and she shouted out, David, it's the dummy. And he said to Rose, who's the dummy? She said, oh, you know.
So even she knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we called him the dummy. Oh, fucking dummy bastard he was. But a lucky fucker. But where was I? I lost my...
About the not nasty side of David having a go at the dummy.
Right. I caught him. I said, what the fuck are you doing? He had a mortise and pestle. And he's grinding up some glass. He said, I'm going to do that fucker in downstairs. Wow. That's going in his milk.
Wow.
Right, I wait for him to go to school, right, so he don't get it, yeah, and when he goes out to get the bottle of milk, because he always guzzled the bottle of milk, he can have fucking some glass, right, so,
yeah,
oh yeah, you know, they stopped him from shooting windows,
right,
see, so you know,
yeah.
Good David.
So what was that? Do you think that was that temper, or was all that sounds like calculated?
Calculated. Anything he done was calculated. It's like finding out all about glass, right? Which he did. He would go to the library, get everything on glass, what you can do to glass, what you can't do, and that's when he worked out how to dig the hole in the glass and take all the jewellery out of the shop in Knightsbridge.
Yeah, I remember. It was with
Evans.
Yeah, was that with Jimmy Evans?
Wanker. Yeah.
Is he still alive, Jimmy Evans? Yeah.
I would say so. And Slippery and Nick with her big tits, right? Because you know Carol caught him giving her one, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I knew she knew he had an affair with her.
No, down at his flat. Carol was asleep.
Really?
And there's David stuck right up her, right? And Carol walked in, got up out of bed, and said, "You dirty bastard!" And he said, "Leave it out, Kaz. We're only having a bit of fun, you know. You know how he goes." And he near enough talked his way out of it. Did you? Oh no! You know. Seriously.
I know. Well, I take your word for it. It's brilliant.
Do you know about the Jaguar and the policeman?
No.
You don't know that?
No.
David bought a Jaguar. Now, he wasn't the best driver in the world. He'd plod about, he would.
I might have inherited some of his skills.
Right, probably. So he's now got an XJ6, right? And there he is. I'm trying to think, whatever road it was in Fulham, copper's gone like that. So David's pulled over and he's gone, and the window's gone down. Yes, officer. He said, "You know you've got no tax on your windscreen, sir." He said, "What's that?" He said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, normally my assistant deals with anything with the vehicle, right?" He said, "Where's the police station? And we're going to get it sorted out." Now the copper thinks, well, I'm going to get a ride in an XJ6, right? And this is true, right? This story has been told so many fucking times, right? Down the Nick, they all took the piss out of the copper. So he said, "Well, it's back that way, sir," right? So he said, "Well, if you see me in there, right, I'll turn round and we'll go." So the copper said, "All right then, sir," and he's fucking off the track. "Come on in, sir." And David's gone like that and in there, and David shouted out, "Yeah, prick," and off he's gone. The geezer's commandeered a van, and he's chased after David. And David thought, "Fuck this." He said, I'm better off out the car. Right, and he's gone like this. Well, the copper, David said he was like Linford Christie. He said, you've never seen anything like it. Fucking chasing me down, what's the name? Here, come to me, in Fulham. And the copper's taken his hat off, gone like that, and hit David, right, on the back of the head. The copper's jumped on him. You fucker, wait till I get you. He said, let me tell you, I'm about to get me down the neck. He said, wait till I tell him when, come on, sir. He said, yeah, come on, sir.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I could tell you jokes. Yeah. You know where your mum lives?
Uh-huh.
Supposing you come out of there and you're going up to the circle.
Yeah.
Do you know where the shops are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you come out of that, right. So you're up at the main drag long lane.
Yeah.
You're coming into it, and just before you come into it, there's a little sweet shop set back, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, David knew him, and he had no money, and he'd gone in there, and he said, "Look, can you trust me with some tobacco, right?" He said, "Go on, fuck off." He said, "But you know me about fuck off." He went back there that night. He took the fucking whole glass out of that door, and I roared with laughter every time I went past it. And David said to himself, "Go on, fuck off." You know, this is what he's saying to himself. He took every fucking cigarette and tobacco, the whole fucking lot. And he used to have a pram. Did you know David had a pram? Right? So he's carted all his gear back, right? Now he's got more cigarettes and what? And he went in there the next day. He said, "I've got the money now. Listen," and I said, "I've been robbed." He said, "It couldn't have happened to a fucking nicer person." Did you hear about when he knew he was dying?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about the funeral parlour?
No.
You haven't? Surely to God you have.
Well, when he asked to see where the bodies go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you that, didn't I?
Yeah.
He fucking went in. I said, "Oh, David, and you know, and how much? And you'll come and collect me. And how do you collect me? We put you in a van." And then he said, "Well, when I get here, where will you put me?" And she said, "Well, we've got." She didn't know how to do it. She's got some fridges out the back. I said, "Can I see one?" She said, "Well, they're full of." Yeah, the woman was sweating bullets. She was.
A bit unusual request, isn't it?
Yeah. I could actually go. How about when he was doing the centre punch? Do you want to? Did you?
Yeah, def.
So, do you know what a centre punch is?
No.
It's, you push it and go like that, and it goes, and it'll put a mark on.
Right. Yeah.
For metal work, it is.
Yeah.
So he wanted to get 2 springs in this great big one. So I've done it for him. This is when he was in Ormiston Grove. And he said, "Well, let's just pop round the corner. I just want to try it." So now it's loaded, the thing. We've come out in Ormiston Grove, and there was a Barclays down the road there, and the door's set back. And David said, "I'm just going to down if it do." He's gone, well, bang, the whole fucking door is gone. I said, "Thanks very much, David." You know, we're not getting any. He said, "But it's not really ringing." I said, "But it fucking will be in a minute, won't it?" So up the road we've gone. But, you know, all the things I could actually tell you about. Do you hear about the motorbike?
No, about the motorbike.
Did you know he had a motorbike?
No.
So David's coming over Wandsworth Bridge on the motorbike and started to trickle with rain. Yeah. And he's got on the brake too quick, and he's gone over the fucking top and slid on his arse, right? And and there's a fella drinking his pint of beer outside. He said, "You okay, mate?" Right, and David says, "I wanted to fucking say about, am I fucking alright, you fuck." I've just, so he's got the bike up, right, got it round the corner, and now he's sitting in the curb, fucking all grazed and bruised and battered, and some old love comes to him and said, "You okay, son? Am I okay? I've got one fucker round there saying you alright. Well, just come off the fucking thing." Yeah. Oh dear.
So you, earlier you were saying you met in the Scrubs, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you remember what year that was?
I'd be 21. I'm 71 this year, so 70. So that'd be 66, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. 1966. The World Cup year.
Yeah.
Were you inside for that? Did you miss the game?
No. And I met him on the twos. He was the cleaner on the twos, right? And he was the cleaner for Garrett, the screw there.
Mhm.
And
was David inside for
the cleanser.
Cleanser, right?
And our friendship come from there. He always used to have nice books, and I think he liked me because I liked the same kind of books he read.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
And when I left, you know, I hope to see you about David, and I see him under the flyover at Hammersmith, right? And I said, "Hello, David," right? And that's where we took up our friendship again.
Right.
You know, and things never changed thereafter.
Yeah.
Did she tell you about when they raided Ormiston Grove?
No.
Carol. David, Peter Davis, and Any Money in the Bank Frank. Right, he was a fucking prick. And they just come back after being a night out wherever whatever they was doing. David's floating around in the bath like a bit of driftwood, and crashed, the door's gone in, right? And it's the heavy mob. They've come running in, and Frank went, "Whoops, hold up here." He said, "I'm a businessman." And they kicked him in the bollocks, right? And when they see David in the bath, he went, "Hands up." He said, "You know, fucking hell, look at the size of you and me." And where they kicked Any Money in the Bank, his bollocks, when they got him, the magistrates, well, when they got him to the magistrates' court, yeah, Frank said, "Right, well, have a look at this," and dropped his fucking trousers. He had a pair of fucking bollocks like coconuts, blacker than that bag. He said, "And he done that." And the magistrate said, "I'm remanding you to prison," right? And when the prison doctor see him, he said, "I can't deal with that." They sent him to outside hospital, and you know, like Boric. Yeah, the thing up in his bollocks up like Boric. He did, yeah. Any Money in the Bank, Frank. Yeah.
Who was Money in the Bank Frank then? I've never heard that name.
Frank. I can't think of his second, but we called him Any Money in the Bank, Frank. Yeah. But you've heard about Jimmy Evans, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right. When Jim done The Last Person, you know how it happened, don't you?
Is this the one that he's in Hampstead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know we was up in David's house in Ormiston Grove, right? And
he was on the run, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And he asked, but he'd already been captured, and he sent a message with Anik, "Can you empty the flat out?" Right. And anyway, I went down with David because he didn't have a car and I did, to empty the flat out and sanitise it.
So that means just get rid of anything that
Yeah.
could cause problems.
So I was the one who found the dye for his hair. And then I found the biggest I said, David, right, you wouldn't want to fucking fancy her. I said, look at this. And wherever he got it, well, it was that fucking long and that big, a fucking rubber husband. I said, you couldn't fucking compete with that, could you? Right, he went, and it was black. But we found all sorts of things there, and when we took it all to Anique, I said, you must have been missing this, Anique. And she went, you dirty bastard, you know, because she's... And I said, how are you going to get his fucking hair dyeing? He's told me I've got to get the powder one and put it on a cake, right? So he's now got this fucking stuff sprinkled on the cake, and that's how he dyed his hair in the neck.
Bizarre.
Eh? Don't you think so?
Really odd.
And do you know the only photograph he had up on his wall, right, was the geezer he killed on a slab. And he said he's not dead. He wouldn't have it that he was dead.
Huh.
No, Carol must have told you all the funny things, didn't she?
Well, bits and pieces, but anything that reminds you of. So did you and David work together, or was it more of a pal?
No. We've done several things.
Yeah.
Did you hear all about all the gerbils he had?
Over in Useley, yeah. I was a kid when he had all the gerbils, yeah.
Did you know how many he had?
No.
Eh? He had about 200 of the fuckers. And he let them all go, because the geezer fucked him off in Falling Lane on the allotment there.
Right.
He said, all right then, mate. He asked him if he could have a bit of something or whatever. And he let 200 of the fuckers go on that allotment. Took them all round, boxed up. Yeah. No, just funny things, you know. And you know, women was attracted to David.
Mm.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
He'd stop and he'd say, "Oh, well, I've got to go and talk to her," right? And he had charm like you fucking wouldn't believe. He would get it. He could read what they wanted to be told.
Right.
He had an absolute, you know, charm for it.
Huh.
He did. He was unbelievable. You'd see this stunning thing, and he'd say, "Oh dear, look at that," and he'd get out and he'd say, I must take you for a coffee and tell you all about your beautiful eyes and the rest of you. Would you come and have a coffee?" And he got it.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a fucking absolute, utter charmer.
I remember he said once that he used to walk over Hyde Park with Barney.
Oh yeah.
And he said sometimes he thinks they probably wanted to have sex with the dog, but they put up with him in the end.
Yeah. Oh no, the amount he shagged over in Hyde Park was unbelievable. Yeah. How about when we used to go out with Nobby the Keys?
Nobby the Keys, that's a great saying.
Right. Fucking Nobby Clark, Nobby the Keys. And Nobby was very old fashioned. And he had to go, why don't fucking people just fuck off and let someone go to work? they'd be looking in the shop what Nobby wanted to open the door up.
Right.
And I'd say, right, and David would go, fuck's sake, just let's go and look at something else. And Nobby would go straight up and kick him in the ankle. Say, and you got nothing fucking better to do. Right? Seriously, kick him in the ankle, and they'd look at him as if to say, well, this same shop in Ealing Broadway, Nobby's gone in there, right? He said, I don't need you to. 12 the door, again, once he got inside. Now, all of a sudden, he can't get out. Right? The door won't go back. Right? Because after when people throw the lock of the night, they don't send it all the way and then turn the key back to pull it out. And that means you can turn the lock off, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And now he's in there. And David and I are going, there's nothing. Who comes looking in the window again? The geezer he come. Right? And Nobby's run up the fucking shop and threw the dummy straight through the window. Would you say that fella was having a bad night? Hey? Straight, you know, it would take me months to even think of, they would just keep coming.
Yeah, that's brilliant though. That's perfect. Just what I want to hear really.
And you know everybody called him Diamond Dave, don't you?
Yeah. Was that because of the?
No, he was just such a nice person.
It wasn't ironic because he got done for them.
Diamond Dave. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So when you met him, would he protest his innocence about the Colenso the whole time, or?
Because I would have asked him the question before he died. Because I think David would have told me there and then. But I was so upset that I got there 10 minutes after he'd gone or something.
Yeah.
And
to be honest, he wasn't in a fit state before. I mean, he was.
You're always lucid before you jump off, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I would have said to him, did you have it or didn't you? And if you did, you know, squeeze me hand. And I think he would have known.
Yeah. Yeah. But your suspicion is he did?
Yeah. Sorry to say that.
No. No, it's not.
I just believe that, like I'm saying, you got charming David, good David, and little fucker David. Yeah?
Yeah.
You got, and David could transport himself to wherever David wanted to be. You know that, don't you? He had that uncanny thing. Well, it'll all be okay.
Yeah.
And do you know why I owe David a big... I could never do enough for him because I was really having a lean time. He just had it off, I don't know what he had done, and he said, it's 200 quid. I said, I'll give you it back. He said, no. He said, and I come home, we was in Ealing at the time, right, and I could pay my little bills off, right, what was driving me nuts, and she was driving me balmy, and I never ever forgot that £200. You know, and there should have been more people at David's funeral. They owed David. You know, my youngest brother, I'm so upset that he didn't come to David's funeral. Because David was very good to him in lots of ways.
Yeah, that's Bernard.
Bernard, yeah.
And you and Bernard are still not talking? No.
Well, Kaz knows the story. Did she tell you the story?
Not really. She just said that you weren't talking, that you were, you know.
No, he was in trouble with whoever, and wanted money, and I loaned it. I don't know whether it was 17 or 18 grand, but it had to come back in cash, and it never did. It come back in the cheque, and I had to reopen all the books, pay the tax on it, and the VAT. It was very complicated, you know. You fucked my brain up, but he never went near David, you know, and I couldn't get it, really. My kids love David. You know, you phone my Damon up now, he'd say, oh yeah, he was such a nice person. And you can't find anybody who didn't like David.
Yeah.
Even Carol.
Oh, she loves him. You can, you know.
Even Carol.
Yeah, she loves him. You can see that.
And you know he couldn't do no wrong with Rosie.
Oh God, yeah.
Did
I
you
mean,
know
I think that was one of Carol's annoyances as well. That he was.
She used to say, Rosie, what are you talking about? He's a dirty, dirty little fucking bastard. No, don't talk to him like that, girl. He's just being naughty. The rows they had, yeah. Oh yeah, he used to, you know, because he'd take Rosie a bunch of flowers, he'd say, yeah, I've earned some fucking brownie points with that. He probably stole them from somewhere. Do you know what?
My mum always says the overriding memories David as a kid as sort of her saving her money up and buying something for the anniversary.
Oh no, he never saved fuck all.
And he would go to someone's grave and nick some flowers and come in, and she'd be like, oh, look what my son bought me.
Oh no. David would take anything, you know that, don't you?
Yeah.
You do know that, even if he didn't want it, because it was there. When we was working in Hampstead, I said, fuck me, look, that needs a manhole cover, right? Well, the next morning I had 4 from wherever he got them, but someone was going to fucking fall down a manhole somewhere, right? Yeah, but he loved the job at Hampstead.
Oh yeah, he was. He looked after it at night, didn't he? Yeah, it was quite weird, quite poacher turned gamekeeper, isn't it?
Yeah. No, he used to go out and feed while he was there, wasn't he?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a lovely shower there and a bed I got him and all the rest of it. No, he had all the luxuries. Yeah. Yeah, I took him to several jobs with us.
Yeah.
You know.
See, in my naivety as a kid, I assumed it all stopped once he came out in the early 80s.
No.
Yeah.
No. He'd often go out, right, at Derek's house somewhere and take all the copper, right? He would. I'm trying to think of the last the crime he really did do. It will come to me. You know, he would always be up to doing something.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And you know he was a good tailor.
No, I didn't.
Fucking hell, you didn't?
No.
Yeah, good tailor he was.
Really?
Yeah, he could alter anything.
Hmm.
Because he'd learnt how to use the machines in the shovel, didn't he?
Yeah, right. Huh. No, I didn't know that.
Because when I was in there with him, and I was a red band, I could go, because I'm not allowed tools, or of any description, because on my file it's got unpredictable.
Right.
No. Don't know why, but it's got unpredictable. And I'm not allowed, you know, when someone read it, they come and got me from the workshop, and sort of stood back while I had a hammer and fucking chisel or whatever it was, and you could put that down, right? You know, it was quite safe.
Yeah.
And I used to go all round the neck, right? And have you ever seen David really cry with laughter?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean...
I've seen him stoned and really laugh.
No,
Yeah.
not stoned. I mean, cry and couldn't get up.
Yeah, no.
I'll tell you a story about me. So I've done all my job, and just say that's the hall where we are, and you come out there and there's the classrooms, and there's a cubbyhole type of place there where the sun used to belt down. And fuck knows where I've got it from, but I've got olive oil from somewhere, right? And I haven't got a stitch of clothing on. I'm fucking sunbathing there. I don't even know where I got the sunglasses. I must have nicked them from somewhere. And bits and pieces, right, the governor. And in those days, the chief officer used to have all braid on his, right? And bits and pieces were to cover in my ball stool. And he was called Bits and Pieces because he had one arm gone and one fucking leg gone, and probably a couple of other bits had dropped off. Are you with me? I used to call him Bits and Pieces, right? And well, said they never walked round that way. I'm fucking laying there, fucking getting brown as a fucking berry. And the chief went, he said, Chief, he said, I've known him for years. He said he won't change. He will not give a fuck what you say, right? What you do, just let him carry on. Because it's better to keep him there and knowing he's not up to anything, right? Well, the chief told Whiskers in my hall. Whiskers is shouted down, Whiskers used to go like that with his moustache. Well, you fucking little bastard, he went, you know, I've just got it from the chief, fucking sunbathing in the bollock. Right, he's gone. And that's the story of me sunbathing. But I come out of there as like ebony. Yeah. Oh, bits and pieces. And who was his name? We all wanted a television or something. Anyway, I managed to nick a TV in the scrubs. I nicked a TV. Seriously. Right. And I've got it back. Henry, he was named. And he was on the hot plate, and Henry's got the TV in there, right? And I don't know how he got the fucking thing going, but I nicked the TV, and Whiskers said, how's it you fucking nicked a TV? No one's mentioned where it's come from. How about when they was all painting their cells, right? And he was an arsehole in the stores. And can you imagine this big rack, right, was all paint. You know, cans and cans of fucking paint. You'd never get rid of it. One day a week, he was never there. And the guy in the stores, I said, you never know. So I've taken the front tins down, and now there's only the side left and the front, right? And everybody's got a can of fucking paint, and they're all painting their cells different colours. And then Garrett said, well, do you think you could get me 2 gallons? When he's finally got to give out some paint, and you could hear the scream of pain, that where's my paint gone, right? But I nicked it all, the whole fucking lot. David, he painted his some fucking terrible colours. He did, yeah. Oh no, what was the other thing? And I used to get David milk every day, right? The big churns used to come, right? And I used to put it on my barrow and then taking it round to the kitchen. But I had my own thing where I could drop this thing in there, and I used to get, I don't know, fucking half a gallon of milk and stop by the tap and fill it up with water. Yeah. And then it go, and then I would bring David back fresh bread, and I'd sort someone out in the kitchen, and he'd have a piece of steak what he used to cook downstairs. Oh yeah, no, David, because I ate okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he'd say to me, what we could do with is some painting gear, couldn't we? Some artist gear. And that's when I went down to the where all the teachers got their gear from, and I could go anywhere in the Nick sort of thing, cleaning. And I thought, well, that's fucking handy. It's an empty locker there, isn't it? So now I've got my own key fit in a locker. Right, and all my contraband used to be in the locker. But all the old painting, tubes and tubes of every colour you can think of. And there was David fucking painting, you know, he was in a world of his
It was
own.
like artistic retreat rather than being in prison. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. And then, what did he say to me? He said, do you know what I'm talking about, where you can put the thing in the light? Yeah. You remember those 3 gang things, what you could put in the light, do you? You wouldn't.
No, I don't.
No. So I said, yeah, David. He said, do you think you could get me one of those? I said, well, I'm sure there's one about somewhere. And he said, no, I want a length of wire. He said, just normal wire, as if I'm fucking got a shop that I can pop out to. Anyway, I've got this. I said, what do you want that for, David? You're not going to fucking hang yourself. He said, fucking hang yourself? No. He said, so I can make a cup of tea in the night. He said, I've read about this. I thought, oh, fuck, here it goes. So, I don't know. The lights went out at 9 o'clock or whatever. Yeah. And all of a sudden, there was an almighty fucking bang. Yeah. And that's it. The fucking whole thing was in darkness. He blew fucking sockets, right, out the window, right? Yeah. Oh no, what other things? You know. Oh, could you get me barber's clippers? I mean, where do you think I can get barber? But it's amazing what you can find in the Nick.
Yeah.
You know what I really wanted to do? And he couldn't find someone who could get it. We could get it in, but I wanted to find someone who could give me a bottle of LSD.
Right.
And I was going to give a bit to everybody in all the halls, yeah, the whole fucking gaff. They was all going to get some, so when the screws had their morning cup of tea, they'd all be away with the fucking fairies, right? And even the geezer who looked after the keys at the gatehouse, I'd do him as well, right? And I was going to tip it in the urn in the officers' mess, and I was going to set every fucker off in the Nick. Could you imagine what it would have been like?
In the hellhole.
But we never managed to find someone who would
bring it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. But that's where I David and I always had a thing about paintings as well, right? I used to like looking at the paintings. He knew I liked going to museums, and he found someone who liked similar things.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Right? Because the rest of them was all into fucking cowboy books and,
Yeah.
you know, wanking material and yeah.
So why was that then? Why do you think you had that sensibility of wanting to see pictures and, you know, because the average bloke doesn't, as you
Yes,
say.
they do.
Well, you know, if you think you know, you just said in prison that all those blokes wanted to just read cowboy books and stuff, and you and David were.
No, but I've always read books
Right.
outside as well.
Yeah.
You know, all right, there's an assortment of books down there, but if you see all the books I've got in my loft,
Yeah.
of, you know, any subject you want, I can go and find you one.
Yeah.
I've given all the art books away to my nephew, right, because he'd got a degree from Chelsea Art College.
Oh, right, good.
Yeah. Well, you done
Yeah, I did a degree, yeah.
art, didn't you? Yeah. You used to do murals or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Russia?
briefly. Yeah,
I
we
can
did
remember.
some Planet Hollywoods in Russia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting that because David was really artistic, you know, I think.
Very.
You know, and
Because he used to ask me, what do you think of this? Do you reckon that'll work? And I often used to say, well, why don't we go and get some spray and all the rest of it and give it a go? And I'd get him glass to do things on.
yeah,
But I could never get him interested in. I said, look, David, right, I'll get some old furniture and you can spray it up and distress it, right, and people are buying that. And he would never do it. He said, no, that's not me. But he was weird in lots of ways where he wanted to earn, but it had to be on his terms, does it?
yeah.
It's,
Because I think a lot of the schemes that you and David and were involved with are really creative activities. You know, that circumventing the law is you have to be very creative to
well,
do
it's
it.
not creative. It's why have I got the wire factor and you haven't? Can you answer that?
No, not at all.
I can't, but I know I have, and it takes one to know one.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you be brave enough? David said, I can't fucking do it. I'm not going in there. You've heard of Blomfield, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. He's in Vine Street, Nick. I said, fuck that, David. I'm not going in there. I'm trying to keep out of those places. He said, well, you've got to. And he's nicked. So I go in there and I see you know, I said, oh, you've got Blomfield in here and all the rest of it. And he said, yeah, and we're keeping him in there. And I went, sort of thing, well, how about 200 quid? And he said, you better come into the 200 quid office. Right, seriously. Right, and I said, that's all I've got. I've got a bowl, 200 quid, I'll be walking home. David was out the side with the car. And he said, well, give him 20 minutes and he'll be out. Right? And from there on, he was a friend of Blomfield's, he used to fucking knock on his door, 3 in the morning, whistle up, you got 50 quid there, Blom? Right, I've got one in the car and I've got to take her somewhere. Right? Yeah. And he used to give Blomfield work to do from a copper in Vine Street.
That's amazing.
Did you hear about the gun in the car?
No.
No, you didn't.
No.
This is fucking true.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what they picked David up for. Yeah. And he's in the back of the car. Right? They know David's not violent anyway. and they'd been on one. And under the seat, the early morning call, they've got their guns in their holsters under the seat. And David's got it out and he said, bit of a fucking tool this, isn't it? Right. There was a screech of tyres. All right, David, sort of thing. No, he said, I'm only looking it. He said, well, put it down for fuck's sake. Yeah. Oh, you never heard that? No, he was sitting in the back and he, right.
Brilliant.
Now, you would never believe that, would you?
No.
They'd forgotten all about their guns under the seats.
Yeah, especially in that time as well, where guns were so
There you go.
rare. Huh. So, was there a lot of coercion with the police then? Was there a lot of...
Loads of it.
Yeah.
Loads of it. Loads of it.
Yeah.
You've heard about Slipper, ain't you?
No.
Jack Slipper was the one who went to see Biggs in Brazil.
Yes. Yeah.
He couldn't fucking lay in his bed straight. Right? What I wouldn't like you to repeat what I'm going to tell you now. No, I mean...
Do you want me to turn it off then? Yeah.
You know, you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's it.
Why do you reckon the Addams family got away with it for so long? As they moved up, you know who the Addams are.
Yeah, I've heard of them, yeah.
As they moved up, the coppers who moved up with them from PCs, detective sergeant, superintendent, chief superintendent, commander, are you with me?
Yeah.
They all moved up the ladder.
Yeah, so they rose together, yeah.
So they were safe because they had this big network of coppers, right, who'd come up the rank with them. And now they've all got fucking enormous houses. If you went through all the police, right, who retired before the Adamses their empire started to crumble. Yeah. Yeah. That's when they retired, and they was told a year before that they was retiring. All these coppers was retiring to their big houses and places in the sun, and their bundles of money and ill-gotten gains, and they said to them, look, we can't give you no help. There's nobody below and there's nobody above. We won't be able to give you any help, so fucking retire. Yeah. And they didn't. And that's when all their problems started. Yeah. When they all retired. So I wouldn't like that.
No, that's turned off, yeah.
You do know how the Adamses straighten their money up, do you?
No.
You know they own the Hammersmith Pally.
Right, no I didn't.
And it had 1,500 people every night.
Of course. Yeah, constant source of money going through.
So there might be fucking 2 people in there, right? A fictitious band, right? They was all guzzling brandy and whiskey and all the stuff. So it was all being ordered in every day, going out to one of their bars elsewhere. Yeah. Are you with me? Yeah. And that's how they straightened all their drug money up. Right. Huh. You know, even David. David knew some real fucking unsavoury people who really liked David, though. Yeah. Jimmy Evans, right, would have disposed of David. Yeah. Right, if he, you know, he was a nasty piece of fucking work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Kaz has said the same thing. My mum said the same thing. You know, he was. And do you mind if I turn?
Yeah.
David. Sorry, David. I remember David saying to me years and years ago. David saying about the shop he had on Warren Street with Jimmy Evans.
Yeah, it was only. I'm trying to think of the Jewish geezer. it was all going, all the stuff was being delivered the next day,
Yeah.
and I'll think of his name in a minute, this Jewish guy, and he went, David, are you some kind of a schmuck? Who's going to go to prison? He said, well, no, it's you,
Yeah.
because you are the secretary, right? And as you sign for £5,000 worth of this and £2,000 worth of that, and the bill goes up like that, and so will your sentence go up like that.
Yeah.
And David went to Jim. He said, I'll give this second thoughts. Fuck that, Jim. And Jim really got the bollockake. Solly is his name, right? And it was Solly who marked his card. He was going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And he would,
What was the shop? Was it a car showroom or something like that? Or?
no, it was going to be a restaurant or something,
Right.
or whatever. They'd got something on a short lease.
Yeah.
And did you hear about Gardener's Corner?
No. No. Where's that?
Be careful with this, what I'm going to tell you. Gardener's Corner, uptown, is in the fire. Yeah, you've got an iPad, haven't you?
I've got a computer. Yeah.
Right, have a look at Gardener's Corner.
Yeah.
Right. Major fire at Gardener's Corner.
Are you got Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Because I know they set the Warren Street one.
A fire, yeah. Now this is 30 years ago, this.
What's your Wi-Fi?
Now how would I know that?
I tell you what, it's alright, I can use that.
Don't it just come on automatically?
No, well, unless it's unlocked. Might do. But maybe I can use my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, use this one. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't know, you open it up.
What's your password?
2512.
Okay. Do you just want to see gardeners?
Corner. Major fire. Or I don't know how you would
Yeah.
ask.
No. London Journal. Well, let's try again. This is London, yeah.
Yeah.
London fire. There's some images of it.
That's David.
Jesus.
That's David.
Jesus.
Do you want to know the whole story now?
Yeah, please, if you don't mind. Jesus, what the fuck did he do?
Right. So,
Good lord.
but there's a funny side
Yeah.
to this. So the little Jewish boy is said to Jim, well, Jimmy, I want a little fire because I'm in a bit of trouble. Just a little fire. Yeah, got it? And there's some poor bastard below him working night and day to fulfil an order. And that night they go there, he's just completed it all. Fucking thousands and thousands of fucking garments. So David, Evans and Skinny, in they've gone, and they've both got 2 cans, 5,000 5-gallon drums, you know, jerry cans. Jim's done the top floor because David never made it, right? And so now they're all got a pump and they're pumping it through the fucking doors. Look,
Yeah.
You got it. They're only supposed to be little fire, right? And down in the basement is a gas meter, and it's like a fucking coffin. It's that big, like that, and they've had to take a pair of Stilsons along with them, right, to get the nut off, right. So now that the gas is going, and they've set the candle in the corner. Yeah, because you need the gas and that. So they've got 10, 20, 30 gallons of fuel in that place. All, yeah. Sitting wherever they were, yeah.
Yeah.
And waiting for the good news to go off. And Jim went to Skinny, he said, go and have a look and see if that candle's gone out. And Skinny went, fuck that shit. And David went, and Evans said, you fucking cowardly bastards. So he's jumped on the wall or whatever it is, round the back there, over, and as he's sort of just disappeared, this almighty whoop, right?
Yeah.
The fucking roof is in the next road. And out, David went, he said, it's like fucking Tomcat. He said, Jim comes staggering out, and all these fucking clothes were shredded. He had no hair on the side of his head. His eyebrows were blown off. Right. And he was fucked completely. Like that. And he's got into the car. And Skinny said to him, you okay, Jim? What fucking... Jim Whitman, fucking okay. He said... And when Skinny's and David's noticed, he's got fucking eyebrows gone completely in his side. Right? Dave went, I think I'll nip home on the train. Right? But it gets worse than that. Because I've got mates who are firemen.
Right.
And now I'm at the fire station down there and they're using Gardener's Corner, right, 5 or 6 years later, as a training thing.
Right.
Right? And the first fire engine what got there, yeah, I've heard the broadcast as well, and the geezer in charge, he went, make that pumps 6, so he wants 6 more fire engines. And he went, no, bollocks to that. He went, make it pumps 30. And the woman on the other end of the phone, the mic, went, is there anything wrong with you? He said, about that, he said, make it pumps 40. Right? And fire engines come from as far as fucking Essex.
Jesus Christ.
Right? The whole, well, you've seen it.
Yeah.
The whole fucking building gone.
Yeah.
And when they went to see the little Sheeny the next day, he said to Jimmy, you okay, Jimmy? And Jimmy's got fucking hair in the eyebrows. He said, don't you fucking start as well. He said, I only wanted a little fire, Jimmy. Only a little fire. He said, the fucking place is gone. Yeah.
What year was that?
Oh, you'll have to get it off of there.
I'm going to write a Gardener's Corner. Jesus. Because so the Warren Street one was a
Oh, yeah.
blaze as well, wasn't it? So do you think, was that before they did the Warren Street one? Do you think Jimmy...
Warren Street was first.
Warren Street was first. I thought it might be Jimmy Evans getting his own back for
No,
Gardener's Corner.
no.
So why did he do so much with Jimmy Evans? Because Jimmy Evans sounds like an awful person to be around.
Listen, David borrowed my car once. Yeah, and they got back late at night. And I got in. And Jim said, if I didn't trust you, he said, I'd do something about you. Well, in those days, I was no fucking schmuck, you know what I mean? Right? About he could do something about me. If he had wanted to start, I'd have done something about him. Because if you know what he's capable of doing, you can do it to him before he can do it to you.
Yeah.
Right? And I'd have made him fucking suffer like you wouldn't believe. Right? And David was the one who stepped in and said, don't be fucking silly, Jim. Right? Because he knew that it was like that.
Yeah.
But you going to do something to me? Well, don't fucking say you. I'll get going and I'll do it to you.
Yeah.
Because I was never frightened of him.
Yeah.
You know, because I'd have done it to him before. He was a coward, really. He you know, defenceless young kid, 21 years of age, and all the rest of it. You know,
Yeah.
Evil fucker. And David thought he just didn't know how to get off the hook with him.
Really, it was just like a
Yeah.
indebted kind of.
Well, not indebted. He was fucking used.
Yeah.
Right. To a real degree of. He was an evil bastard. Carol didn't like him at all.
No.
You do know that, don't you?
Well, Carol reckons that's why the appeal broke, or not the appeal, the investigation broke down into the Colenso.
Yeah.
Because David was a character witness for Jimmy Evans, up on a murder charge.
Of course.
And she said that...
He didn't want to be a character witness.
No, I bet he didn't. But she said that the Home Office, or whoever it was, turned up and they went, what, he's a witness for a murderer? You know, what she said, what she felt was that
it narrowed it down to.
Yeah, he's all right. He didn't do that, but he's done loads of other things. He's a scumbag. He's not an innocent window cleaner that was originally claimed.
I don't know whether you can get it up on their House of Peacocks.
Right, another look. What was it again, Danny? 25, 12, 25.
No, 12, 25, 25, 12.
25, 12. Sorry, what was it?
House of Peacocks, and that was East London, I think it was, at Chigwell, right? Gangster's house blowing up. Well, when you got time, you can look it up. Well, he blew his own house up, Evans.
Okay.
He actually blew his own fucking house up. I think it was called the House of Peacocks. And this was all because of his wife, right? You know, was having it off with someone, and she had a little Triumph car, right? And Jim had drilled a little hole through the back, and so he could open up the thing and all the rest of it. So, you know, and he's telling the story. Fucking told you to give it up. No fucking about. And she's driving along. When she's pulled up, right? He now knows where she's going. Right? You haven't heard the story?
No.
And this is how it all started. And now he's got like an American CIA Mac on. Do you know the type I mean?
Yeah.
Where you can put your hand through the pocket.
Yeah.
And he's got his shotgun on a dog leash. And when I'm trying to think of his name. Right? And when he come to the door, right, Jim's gone like that with the gun, the shotgun, as he's jumped, right, as the gun went off, right, he was gone to shoot him here, he's jumped and it's taken his bollocks off.
God.
Right? And so I'm going to now tell you the story of Ginger Marks. Everybody's heard of Ginger
Yeah,
Marks.
Jim March, yeah.
Do you know how he died?
No, I mean, I know Jimmy Evans was meant to be responsible for it.
Jimmy Evans, Ginger Marks was his schoolboy friend. What a fucking toe rag. And now, the geezer's bollocks who he blew off, right, is a real connected family. We're talking serious. That's when, after this all happened, he blew the house up, right, and he gave the nod, it must be that lot. But he blew his own fucking house up.
Right.
When Jim heard the screech of tyres coming round the corner, he was right, and you know the windows are open. He's gone like that with Marksy, and the hail of bullets what come out got Marksy. This is his fucking childhood friend, right? And off he's gone, right? They've had to stop the swoop and sling him in the boot, Marksy. By then, Jim's up the fucking road, right? And, you know, they're searching for him. But that was their chance of getting him, and they missed out.
Right.
And that's when he blew the House of Peacocks up, right? And, well, must be that lot, you know. But poor old Marksy, that's what happened to him because of Jimmy Evans.
Right. Huh.
Put it in there and see if Jimmy Evans is alive.
Yeah, I know he's written a couple of books.
2 books, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all bollocks.
Are they? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I want to meet Jimmy Evans.
No, you wouldn't. He's an old man now, must be fucking 80, it's got to be nearly 90.
Yeah, he must survive. I know it's just books by him. It doesn't say whether he's alive or not. But then there would have been an obituary if he had died, wouldn't?
See if there is an obituary. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
I don't even use one.
It's a nice iPad.
The kids bought it for us for, was it Mother's Day or Christmas or something? I think they've done it on purpose.
It doesn't say. I reckon he might still be alive. Yeah.
Hello? Hello, Maurice. I'm okay, mate. How are you? Go on. Yeah. What is that? What, minus Jade? Yeah, no. What I want to do, Maurice, is that we was talking about. Yeah. Well, if you've got a few days off, go and do it, right? But it'll be in 2 or 3 weeks' time. It will. Yeah. 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 Whereabouts you going? Where? Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I don't want to know about trains. Fuck the trains. I only. Oh, is it? All right then, Maurice. All right then. Yeah. Yeah. All right then, mate. All right. I'm okay. Yeah. No. They're all okay. Honestly, they're all okay. Right. All right then, mate. All right then. Yeah. Love to all of you. Yeah. Bye. 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 Bye.
Yeah, it doesn't say if he's alive or not. Interesting. I'll check him out.
There must be a way of doing it.
Yeah.
You know, Anik. You know, when he was in the nick, I'm trying to think of his name. He's dead now, anyway. Hill, right? Had an enormous, great big prick he did, right? We'd fucking need it with her, yeah. And he was giving her one, right? And he said, she's in his Rolls Royce, you know, the Corniche. And he said, I've got to go now, do some business, and it's a tenner, get yourself a cab. And she went, you dirty bastard, doing this, you fuck me, and then you fuck off like that. Well, she was visiting Jimmy and saying, you know, he got hold of me and you know, so now Jimmy's in the neck thinking, wait till I get hold of that fucking little bastard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, she was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did come looking for David, right, but didn't realise he wasn't with Carol.
Right.
But, you know, uh, you try to think of the stories and there's just so many of them, really.
Yeah. So what would you have you still got any people's numbers that I could maybe ring up and ask if they mind having a chat, or sort of the dummy, or
well, the dummy's one.
because you because Carol did have an address for Bernard. I did write to Bernard, but I didn't hear anything.
He won't get involved.
Yeah.
He won't. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah. And I'm hoping to get hold of Bromfield, but I think I don't think there's a lot of sense there. I think he's in a hostel some. What was the dummy's real name?
Harrison.
Is that John or?
No, Brian.
Brian. And then there was that awful mate of David's who hanged himself.
Oh, yeah, him. Baldy George.
Yeah.
He wasn't really a mate of David's.
No?
No, he was another slippery little bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thought that he would have done that? But I think they wrapped him up in clean film and give him the drop because there were certain things he done. And now I haven't got his number.
Okay.
Certain things he done, right, and how he got away with it. You know, is it home base on East Acton?
Mhm.
There's a place there, right? He had a meet there. One had the Dr. Crippen bag with all the money in, and the other had the drugs in. And off it went. There's police everywhere, and Baldy George got away with both bags. Now, would you? No.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of people had dubious things
Right.
about him. They think Woodsy from off the Uxbridge Road at Hillingdon. They think that he give Tommy Green his address. Right, and Tommy Green give him the good news through the fucking front door with the gun.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
there was no real loyalty
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
Anything with drugs, right? Keep away from those people because none of them are trustworthy at all. That's why David would never deal with them. He spoke to them, right? I've never touched them, been involved with them, or anything.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things that you do and you don't do. But if you can get hold of Brian will tell you a funny story about. Do you remember the toy shop in Lily Road?
No,
Patrick's.
I don't know. No, but
Well, they decided they're going to do Patrick's, right? And the dummy's broken his finger or some fucking thing. And Patrick never went home to his house, and now they're in there. He's got one of these metal things. And he's come up behind him. He said, "If you look, you're dead." He's got it in his back. And they got him fucking floor and taped him up. Right. And it's a metal thing on his right, because they was known. And God bless David. I've still got one of the toys up in the loft. I've always Christmas, thieves have a hard time. Did you know that? Always. It always goes piss poor. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he said, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Right. So out comes the ladder. David gets in the first floor. Right. And he said, well, we're sorting out some fucking nice presents. Right. Well, he had Scal Electric and he had this and that. And you fucking like £1,000 worth of toys. I've got to. He said, is that enough? I've got a full carload, a state car. Right? Yeah. But that's what David was like.
yeah. So did because David used to work more with Bernard and Brian,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Did you hear the funny story about a country house?
No, go on.
So we've been, Peter Davis and I had gone to Thetford, the other side of Thetford, and we'd knocked one out there. And we got in through this little window, knocked a pane of glass out, and in we got. And lo and behold, David Blomfield and Bernard have gone, right, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, and Bernard's gone, because they told us afterwards, Bernard's gone, fuck me, that's okay, Dave, look, they've replaced a bit of glass there, that'll come out easy, right? So they've taken a ladder what cost them like 100 and fucking odd quid, where we got one out of the garage, put it up, yeah, and Bernard's jumped in, right, to come down now. We done it and open up, Well, this wasn't like a bell. This was a siren. It went, woo, 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 right? And down the ladder and away, right? They could hear this fucking 4 miles away, this Whistler. There was lights from everywhere. And David said to Bernard, they fucking been here, that's why. that was a new bit of glass, they've been here, yeah. Woo!
Was there often that then? Was there often crossovers of jobs like that? Or?
No, not really. And David, on his last nicking, should have known better than what he'd done. Because they would never have got nicked if I'd have been to sleep that day, because no good going if, you know, you had no sleep.
Yeah.
Blomfield was fucking like that, and I said, you can't fucking take him. Look at the fucking state of him. He hasn't slept for 2 days, right? And anyway, I said, how far away is your place? And well, I don't know, a mile away. I fucking wouldn't be a mile away. You've got to be at least 5 or 6 miles away, right, and parked up sensibly. And all what they shouldn't have done, they did, because there's a formula for it. There's always one in and one out, right? And the one out was always watching, like that. And they wasn't. They was all in the car, all in the fucking house, right, having a rummage. And all the vehicles, all the police were coming, blue lights and all the rest of it. You know, fucking madness. And David told me, because this story gets funnier, if you want the funny bit. And now David's and Bernard's fucking well in front. Are you with me? And this police dog's come right along David, and David went, fetch him! And the fucking dog went up for Bernard. Oh, fucking great big dog it was. And anyway, they got rounded up. And now they're in the nick.
It's cool. So I don't want to interrupt the story. Yeah, it's working.
Now, this sounds like shit from a rocking horse.